the national anthem. May we be upstanding, ladies and gentlemen. Arise, O compatriots, Nigeria's honor to serve our Thank you very much. It's actually the best national anthem in the world. So a round of applause for everyone. I was privileged to have been taught in secondary school, government, by a gentleman who happened to be part of the team that wrote the national anthem. His name was Mr. David Wick. That was a privilege, so I think I should throw that in there. Yes. Our welcome address, of course, for tonight will be by none other than Mrs. June Douglas. A round of applause for her. You don't need the microphone.
Welcome to this great event. As you all know, the book launch is for this beautiful book called Black Leather. We hope that you will have a good evening. Thank you for coming. I know that we've all come from different places, from work and everything around the place. Thank you for coming. I hope you have a good time today. As you all know, we've got few places to see. If there's a fire exit, that's it. All go down that way. And we also have the toilet that way, the ladies and the gents. Welcome and enjoy the evening. And as time goes on, we will all have a good time. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. A round of applause for her. Where's my call? She's done a runner. Okay, we have in our presence Mrs. Michelle Akinfe. She's our moderator for tonight. So a round of applause for her. May I invite her? Okay, it would not be a book launch if we do not hear from the writer. So, with a resounding round of applause, and please let us be upstanding as we do it, as we give Mr. Ayo Akinfe a resounding round of applause. And a standing just before his keynote address. You may stand, sir. Are you too afraid to stand up?
Guys, you've embarrassed me so much. I just want to sit down and cover my head. Thank you very much for that. First for the rousing introduction, Victor, and then for the wonderful reception. Now, I won't prattle on too much, because I know it's been a long day. A lot of you are coming from work. Made it here. We didn't start on time due to form. But we're going to have a roundtable discussion later. So I'll just give a very brief overview of what the book is about and what made me write it. A few years ago, I read a book called Small Island, written by a lady called Andrea Levy. small island was set in the 1950s and 60s when Caribbean migrants came to the UK after World War II. It spoke about the challenges and difficulties they faced, how they had a problem getting jobs, getting houses, settling into society. A lot of the time, they would go to look for apartments and there would be signs up saying, no kids, no dogs, no blacks. And that was what they had to face. No Irish, yes. Now, fortunately, we've come a long, long way from that. Nobody faces that kind of overt racism today. But there is still a lot of challenges. A lot of us are people who could excel a lot more than we do at the moment. But we face certain hurdles. And what made me write this book and titled it Black Ladder was that the actual demographics have changed. There are now more Africans in the UK than Caribbeans. So we are the largest, the Nigerian community is the largest African community. So we're the largest black community in the UK. So we tend to be the focus. We tend to be the central point. And given our very, very robustious and aggressive nature, Nigerians don't want to be kept down. Nobody wants to be a cleaner all their life. Nobody wants to be a London Underground staff all their life. A lot of you here, I'm sure you can relate to this, were graduates. I mean, the central character in the book is a chap called Suji Mustafa, a Nigerian graduate. And I'm sure this probably echoes with a lot of you here. You came here as graduates, but what did you have to do? You maybe have to start off working McDonald's. And you then work your way up. You faced all sorts of challenges, but you said, you know what, no, I'm not going to do this. I want to do better. I want to work for the Crown Prosecution Service. I want to work for, the city, the bank, or whatever it is. And you've managed to overcome all those hurdles. So, Black Ladder is essentially taking us through the life of a Nigerian migrant, the struggles he faced, and it ends with him actually becoming a director of a city bank. And which, I'm sure if you look around our community now, it would echo the lives of a lot of people, a lot of successful Nigerians who are earning 80, 100, 200 grand. They probably started off doing a cleaning job or a McDonald's job. So I hope you enjoyed the read. I did have to speed up the production over the last few weeks because it was my birthday and I wanted to have it on my birthday. And again, I'll just finish with this. We Nigerians are very, very renowned for our parties and our lagos. And I said to myself, it's my birthday. We don't like being stereotyped, but then whenever you have to have a birthday, you just have a big party. And I said, you know what, I'm not going to do that. Let's have an intellectual discussion. Let's have something, let's elevate the level of debate a bit. So I sped up the production and I made sure the book was out. It got delivered on Saturday. A certain Mrs. Ronke Odusia was on my doorstep within an hour of it arriving to become the first person to collect a copy. But I'm glad it's out. It's here. I hope you enjoyed the read and I look forward to reading your reviews. Thank you very much.
Life and time of a Nigerian or African migrant. Well, wonderful story. I'm sure that would be, can't wait to read the book. So please, another resounding round of applause to our wonderful, tall author. Somebody just mentioned handsome, I'm not sure. Okay.
My people's on my line. Thank you.
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you. No, she was ready to fight me. Yes, of course. We've got a roundtable discussion to be moderated by Mrs. Ayo Akinfe. It's the future of Britain's African community in the post-Brexit era. So a round of applause for Mrs. Akinfe. Madam, the microphone over to you. Imaginary microphone.
I should project my voice within Brexit. Plus, the Black Ladder, how it's going to elevate us, give us the incentive to start thinking about, maybe if Brexit won't work, Africa is the next step. So the insight to it, in 1946, there was an harsh war. The war came together, they became a united European Union. Within that European Union, there was the United Nations. It was accepted. But in those days, somebody called Clement Attlee, which is a delegate, was the one that was actually overhacking the United Union coming together, just like we have ECOWAS. We know about ECOWAS. So he spoke about home and liberty, but within that state, they were thinking about union, security, financial stability, interrelation, bilateral trade, also about trade and also about investment. That's the purpose of the United Union. Before some gangsters or some other, Russia became kind of a overarching, trying to pull the string, trying to control everyone. So this is how kind of the background of European Union and Brexit within that contest. So it was, for me, looking at it as an African and as a British African, I would say, because Ayo is born here, so he has that link. So we go back to my interest and Ayo's interest and where Black Ladder sits within this platform. Right. Let's say some of us voted for Remain, some voted for Exit. I was a Remainer, some was for Brexit. So now let's forget about Remain or Exit because we're now in it and we're in the mess together. What do we want? How do we want to negotiate? Now, just over close to a month ago, my PM minister, she triggered the article. And even if you watch the news just about 3-4 days ago, they studied cowboys and gangsters have started colliding in 27 states. They united within 4 minutes. ECOWAS Africans, if we're to sit and negotiate and to reunite, we're going to have a person club, isn't it? Just to show you how Europeans work and how they move very speedily, how they work together to get things done. 4 minutes, 27 states, they put their differences together, they go, work. We're going to make sure that we bang Britain out of all this. Scary, isn't it? I'm sure Ms. Mary was pretty scared. But I think as it is with UK, they've always been the leading. Now France is trying to put their strings to become a leader within that European, to find a space. Where are we in this? We need to start thinking about trade and investment. Black Ladder is a struggle. We don't want our children to fly burger anymore. We don't want our children to play. We don't want them to. I was a kitchen assistant. I've done it all apart from prostitution. So, I know I can relate. I can honestly relate to this very well. Coming from a background, I worked with transmission before coming there, and I remember having a driver at 17 plus. Got here, Peckham Drive. Can't believe it. I thought they said London Street was made of gold. No, it wasn't. I had to do it early morning. In fact, I was a proud manager of a key job, holding so many bunch of kids like a prison officer. That hands will tell you about it. But honestly, today I look back, I think, well, it's good to start from the scratch and work our way up and find our own feet within Europe. I felt like this is the opportunity for us to start coming together. Small businesses. I have a link, an echo. One of my colleagues from Brazil was telling me about how they're looking for contracts in UK to run their next football game. And I was like, wow, I wish I was a footballer. That's an opportunity. It might look small, but if you have a team and you're thinking about football and you're a British registered company, we need to start thinking about how to go into that. So, at this point, we're going to have another discussion because whatever happened within Brexit, we need to look at how we can step up, and the Black Ladder is an opportunity for us to think about where we're coming from. If you don't know where you're coming from, you have to know where you're going. For me, the reason why I'm interested in this is that to look at how we're going to come together as Nigerian, as an African within UK, within the Brexit, and see how we're going to heckle the government, look for where the contracts are, because there are money. Now that they're just about to take some 30 billion to Nigeria, and all this is happening. We want stability. We want opportunity to kind of
take advantage of all the things that are there. So we need to be thinking about how we're going to come together, use Brexit as an opportunity to step up, to move. We've done trade and investment, trade and investment in Parliament. The purpose of that is to open doors to businesses in here, UK businesses, to start coming in and look for how we're going to, put our business into the central government in the UK and in Nigeria government and make our own money. So we don't have to go through, our children doesn't have to go through what this gentleman in black leather go through. That's my short overview of where we are within this setting. So I would like to, I'm not on my own, and I'm meant to be a moderator. So I think that it's time for me to hand over back to the MC so we can get the rest of the speakers into the panel and get the ball rolling, because there's a lot to be discussed. But I can assure you this is not the end of it. Black Gather is going places, and we need to start thinking about our place within the Brexit. Remain or no remain, we need to come together. We're looking for stability. 2008 was a big crash. If you have a mortgage, you have everything, things went down. All because we thought we had a government that can help to sustain us. I need people that lost mortgages, I need people that lost businesses. We don't want to go back to that, so we need to be looking at how we will do what? Step up. Forget about color of our government. Stability, financial stability is what we need right now, isn't it? So we need to support Mrs. May to get things going and to push on. That's my stake. So handing over to the MC and to get the rest of the speakers so we can have a debate about Black people. Thank you.
Can we have a bit of a silence, please? Guys, thank you very much. On the next on the list now, we're going to be introducing people on the round table discussion. Some of the people are not here yet. So, yes, okay. The lovely president of NWLDF, Nigerian Women in Diaspora. My lovely sister, big sis, I love her very much, Jenny Okafo. Would you like to come on the high table?
You can keep the applause going.
Sorry, I'm very humble, but I need to make clear I'm no longer the president. Susan Faduna Thomas is the president. I was the former president.
Ah, okay, the former
Thanks.
president.
Keep the applause going as I also invite to the table in front of us here the chairman, Nigerian Diaspora Investment Summit, and that is none other than Chief himself, Chief Bimbo, Robert Falayo. Round of applause, please. Okay. May I also invite one. Okay. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, may I invite Mrs. Jenny Okafo to give us, to give us her take on the topic of discussion.
So sorry, I'm trying to be, I know we have the MC and I'm not overruling there, I just want to kind of get on and see how we can get the panelists in. Yeah, yeah. So we've got...
Okay. Oh, do we have Mr. David Smith here?
Yes.
Oh. Please, ladies and gentlemen, please keep applauding as we invite Mr. David Smith. As the chairman, British African Business Alliance. A round of applause for him. Of course, we're still expecting Miss Pauline Long. We're still expecting Mr. Alistair, show your day. We're still expecting, of course, Mrs. Susan Ferdinand Thomas, and of course, Matthew Penny Cook, of course. Thank you very much, and over to you.
Okay. This is going to be an open discussion in terms of the age application and the because looking at Brexit. Yeah. Okay then. So in terms of Brexit and we as an African British African have to be, because I know we're dual nationality, so I'm going to. What's your take in terms of where we are? Because I have a different view. You have a different view. Should I start with the British African businesses?
I voted to remain because I thought that was the sensible thing to do. But some other people thought differently. And over the last 5 or 6 months, I've come to the opinion that it's probably the best decision that's been made in a long time. Because if we had remained, we'd be sitting comfortably. We've got our great big market right here on our doorstep. And we don't have to do anything else, really. Sell a bit more, that would be nice, but we're comfortable. And what's happened is illustrated by one of our members who runs a manufacturing company down in Bristol. And I saw him just after Christmas. And he said, David, I just had to do the profit share with the staff and the end of year speech and all the rest of that. I did it last night. Now some of these guys voted to leave, but they don't know where their bread is buttered. 50% of our sales are in Europe. We're working with you because we want to balance out the 50% that is in Europe and find new markets from Africa especially to take this forward. And that set my mind thinking. Is it an opportunity? He's not going to open an office in Africa. He's not going to he's not even going to get on a plane to Lagos. But he wants to sell more in Africa. And my mind just kept working and working and working and working. And gentlemen and ladies, it's on your doorstep. There are thousands of British companies sitting out there on the industrial estates near where you live who are looking for new markets. You need to go and meet them. There's a thought.
It goes back to my thought about we need to stand ready as a country, full of self-confidence, ready to build a new special and deep partnership with Europe, whilst we continuously recasting our position in the wider world. So to rekindle the British ties and African and Commonwealth, because like I said, we're already in the mix. Remain or leave. I'm going to sit on the fence tonight, so put my feelings aside. Like you. Where do we stand? What do we need to do? Because, you know, I would, and then let me give it to the lady. It's from Jane.
Thank you very much, Michelle. Like David, I voted to stay, and I was quite angry when we were voted out. I have since then been following events and monitoring to find out how we can take advantage of where we found ourselves. And funny enough, I have some African clients that I have been representing over the years. Surprise, surprise, majority of them are coming to me and saying, Madam, we voted out. And I thought, why? Why did you vote out? You're the traitors. And they said to me, no. Do you know that majority of us who are in the construction industry no longer get jobs because people from Eastern Europe and the rest of them who are less qualified and experienced are getting all the jobs? Do you know that our engineers are struggling to find jobs that they can do here because people from Eastern Europe are willing to do it for less? So we're happy that we're around. The only thing we need to do is to reintegrate, reassert ourselves, and then sell the skills. We used to have a scheme they called the special, the highly skilled migrant worker. That went because of the opening of the borders. But right now, what they used to do was to bring in very highly talented Africans and then exploit that skills anyway. But that has since stopped. I have seen opportunities there. I can see that once Europeans stopped coming in, there will be need for us. The only thing we need to do, like Michelle said, is to actually make sure that we get rid of this mentality where you are from the north, you're from the south, you're from the east, you're Kenyan, you're Ugandan. We are all Africans. Most times when people ask me where I come from, I just say I'm African. You go out there and find out. I'm from Africa. It doesn't really matter where I come from. What you should be looking at is my skill and my experience. Am I able to deliver on the job? Because if you go to America, America doesn't care about where you come from. What they care about is what you can do. So we need to begin to look at ourselves as part of this society. There should be no more that them and us. We are needed, they are needed, everybody is needed. So we need to come together and begin to retool. For those of us who have given up and saying, oh well, this system is against us and all of that, you need to get rid of that mentality. Because if Obama could actually overcome all the odds and said, I can, all of us can. So it's a question of us having a mindset reorientation. We need to begin to integrate, because the trouble we face as well is that many of us have lived here for so many years, but we're still thinking Africa. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. But in order to actually survive and make the difference you want to make in Africa, you need to begin to have your root here. And when the root and foundation is solid, whatever you want to do, you can do. Like David said, now there is this 50% hanging around because the trade things are going to go back to Europe. We're not going to trade with them the way we used to. Why don't we all pull together from cooperatives, work together, find out what our skills and talents are, and then be able to engage and say, look, you don't need to worry. We've got what you need. Tell us what it is, and then we'll bring it together. So for me, it could be a blessing in disguise. I never supported it. If you ask me, I still don't support it because I've got comfortable being where I am. But what I want to do now is to make the best of the situation we have found ourselves, and I know we can do it. Thank you very much.
Yes. Our guest we've been expecting is around now. My lovely, beautiful, actually she's been introduced as the new president of NWDLA. Ms. Susan
Thanks very much. I've got to be sorry for being late. That is the work of my sat nav.
So to quickly push in and to go back to what Jenny just said, we need to kind of reaffirm ourselves. For me, as a British Nigerian, my instinct, part of the British, is an identity. My instinct part is my British identity. Well, no referendum can change it, and we'll change that. And I think that's the same for most of us here. I'm not speaking for all, but I'm speaking for myself. So, the vote to remain or to leave, it's not a rejection, really. It is a shared European value. But also, we need to be looking at, we're not undermining the Europeans, but at this point, we have to look at the ideas, the principle of the EU, and then we reevaluate where we are in it. So I do agree with you. We can't sit on the fence now. We have to do something about the whole thing and get on with this and start supporting stability and sustainability for the next God knows how many years to come. So in light of that, I'm still on the topic of actually finding out where we are, because again, we're different, we're individuals, we're professionals, we have different views. Let's hear from Chief Bimo for that.
My own view is that, first of all, I'm a die-hard Democrat. During that referendum, I was one of the few people that never voted, whether to the left or to the right. And I'll tell you why. I had my reservations about certain aspects of the referendum, but I will tell you why later. Now, my position is, as a black community, particularly as a Nigerian community, David spoke as a Lagos boy and now British, more or less. But I'm going to speak like a black African. My position, and in Nigeria particularly, my position is that regardless of the situation, we've had a referendum, we should go with it. We should prepare our mind to where we are right now. And now I need to mention that one of the major problems we have as a community, just like Jenny said, is that we live in the UK with a mindset of Africa. So as long as when we move out of this office and you get to another street, you have to look at the way they move around in that street and adjust your movement. If you gyrate in a different way, then you're not going to be able to get what they get around that area. And I think that is a major problem we have within the African community. For me, I think we're properly ready. We're well placed to take advantage of Brexit. And I'll tell you why. There are so many opportunities that are now open to us as a black African community that we're not looking at because we have a mindset of Africa. There are many of us who are still with the mindset of the black ladder. You know, what's the character in this book that started as a cleaner and then is thinking that somebody is discriminating against them, which does not exist in most cases. Because I've passed through some of the, actually, if there's anybody that has worked in so many organizations, I think I'll count myself as one, because there was a time I was doing 3 months, 6 months contracts in different companies. And there was a time that my CV was 14 pages long because I had 3 months, and within the last 20 years, I've worked in so many companies. So I know about the culture within the work circle in this country, to the effect that if you are good, honestly, nothing can hold you back. That's the reality. If you are good, there's nothing can hold you back. Now, yesterday, a so-called Nigerian guy who doesn't have a Nigerian name won a boxing match by knockout. So what we're supposed to be delivering in this country is knockout, actually. Exactly. We're supposed to be doing more than we're doing. And we are better placed now with Brexit. With Brexit, in about 10 years' time, I can guarantee you, many of you, if you go back to Nigeria, by the time you come here, you'll be shocked at what you will see in this country, because Nigerian kids are doing so well. I'm talking about our children. Our children are doing so, I don't want to talk about this generation now, because people in this room are probably in 30s, 40s, or 50s. But I'm talking about the 20s. Those who are coming up. They are the new kids on the block. And they are the ones that we need to lay a solid foundation for. Our own role as a community is just to work together and work better together, reduce our tension within our community, reduce the fighting. Let's start to bring ourselves together and encourage the young ones to go for all the opportunities that are all over the place. And I will rest my case for now.
Thank you very much. The black ladder is the unspoken, the hidden odds, stacked against the black Britain in the British private sectors. This 1,000-word book exposes the reality behind all the rhetoric about the equal opportunity, black power, black empowerment, and social inclusion. Right. Like most other black professionals, she defined out whether you get a job or not. And I think it's still the same issue for both of us today. But in light of all that, I will have a bit of view in terms of how we can limit ourselves. Just like Dr. Bingo said, I'm going to support the view. You are who you are, regardless of race, gender, color. You have to push on. I say, I've been given a bit of a funny name. She takes no for an answer. If I need something, I will not till I get it. And trust me, when I mean no, you go, yeah, you hear that. I mean, Ms. any cabinet minister knows when I want something, what do you want eventually they give it to us. So I think that's what we need to do. That's the kind of thing we need to build into our children. Yeah. You know, the resilience to fight on until you get the answer. Yeah. And not in an aggressive way, in a very diplomatic way and strategic way. Put things in writing. I asked for this, I said that, I mean this, and I want that. You know, when is it going to happen? And then start doing people job. That's how things work. There's no magical way about it. You will go away. We don't do this right now. We'll do it later. You tell them, no, actually, I've done my research. The research said this is what we need at this moment, and you can't push it away unless you want to. I won't say that, but we're all logical. We're very intelligent. I was told that Nigerian, and it's not told. I knew from my parents and my grandparents' generation were the most intelligent human beings, and that's one of the reasons why we don't anybody want to try to mess with Nigerians. So let's use our intellectual ability to empower our children, further empower your girls, your daughter. What I am today is my father, because I know that he knows I don't. It teaches me all the skills that I have, the expertise that I have right now. So make, not a CC life. I was born in between boys. I wear their trousers when they get too old for them. There wasn't anything about dress. Yeah, dress on Sunday. So I'm using this to tell us that we need to push on and don't take no for an answer. That's my taking it. And I would like to kind of hear from my lovely. So yes, again, we have another high. All of us were all high profile. This is a discussion, and it's an open. We're all on the same level as we are today. So there's no but. We have someone that is capable of contributing to this discussion.
Yes, thank you very much, Michelle. We have the director of Bay Television, who is also on the high table, Alistair Sholibe, in our presence. So can you please give him a round of applause?
I have some permission so that because there's a lot of things happening there.
May I also recognise the presence in our midst of none other than the veteran speaker himself, Mr. Charles Kill, just to recognise.
So, thank you very much. So, Susan, we'll be having this discussion. I am sure you probably got a little bit of we'll be discussing. Part of what I've been with the other panelists that where are we within the Brexit? With Brexit, will it remain? Now it's too late to revert. We have to push on. And now it's not about color, it's not about politics, it's not about labor, green, yellow, it's about us, it's about business, it's about children's future. So, what do you think?
Thanks very much. Again, my apologies that I came very late. It seems I'm going to, probably because I'm a politician from the other people's city. I think I'll be a bit of a killjoy.
I've got some.
And the reason I'm going to be a killjoy will be because I was one of the people that really campaigned to remain in the EU. With every situation, there are challenges and there are benefits. I do believe where we are, if tomorrow, listen to me, if tomorrow we happen to leave the EU, because up till this moment, I don't believe we actually live in the EU. If you listen to the president of EU yesterday, there was statement quoted to him saying that Theresa May, she is deluded. And I believe many of the people that are negotiating for EU, they are deluded. There are different things that will happen. Two things will happen to EU negotiation. It's either in the next 2 years, we get to a point where we can exit, or we don't get to a point where we can exit, and that referendum and our divorce will reverse. And some of us are still continue to campaign to remain. That's what we are hoping for. And we are hoping that will happen. But having said that, that is my personal opinion, and having said that, that's not just about me. Many people around the country, even people that voted to remain, to exit, to leave the EU, that are not well informed before they cast their vote, they're now regretting. Why did we do this? We don't know if this will happen, if that will happen. Can I just take an example of what I'm saying? The UK was due to receive about 5.3 billion in European Union structural funds between 2014 and 2020. How many of us have charity organization or community interest group here? Thank you. most of the funding we are getting, and I'm talking as somebody in the governance, in local authority, most of the funding local authority are using to support local or charitable organizations come from EU funds. And there has been speculation that the government, our government, will take that up when we exit Euro. How they will do that, I'm not sure of it. When what we are hearing is that the austerity measure will continue. Or I'm not too sure if people are aware that our economy, David is here, you know better more, that our economy actually slowed down in the report that was due this week. So there are issues around EU, but having said that, like I said before, in any situation there are challenges and there are opportunities. As people of African descent, I hope we can grab the opportunity that if we exit EU, that will create for us. And as at now, together with some of the people that I know, we've got about 150 questions for the government to answer, which will actually give us where we're going to be when we exit EU. There are opportunities, the opportunities are there for us to grab, but I don't believe I stand to be corrected that any opportunity that we're looking at will actually happen in the next 5-10 years. Probably I will agree with Chief Bimbo, might be, sorry I'm a politician, might be, for as mentioned, for the youth, our second generation, people that are coming behind us, so that they have the opportunity to grow within, outside the EU. And since I've lived in this country for over 27 years, all I've known has been to live within Europe. So maybe that's why I'm finding it difficult. But as at this point in time, all evidence proves that it's not going to be an easy ride. And that's where I'm coming from. I just want to manage our expectation, not just to carry away that there are opportunity out there. There are opportunity, but the challenges, the road will be tough. Thank you.
Did you notice that when the ex-mayor started speaking, had to open up the wine? I was thinking I wasn't expecting that. You know, so, you didn't see that camera, oh, don't do that to me. So, I was expecting that, but and with passion, like, it's funny, every one of us seems to be on the remain. We have to look for an exit, someone that wants the exit, because in a way, we seem to be on the same boat, but like I said, I'm managing my feelings, and the feelings have to be put aside.
We are on the same boat. We have to be on the same boat because there is no alternative. We're going, so we need to bring forward everything that is going to help us. I mean, some people need to be bailing. Some people need to be bailing out the water.
Thank you so much for actually hitting the nail on the head for me. So those very values have led us to, for over 70 years of consistency and counting on the presidential level of peace. Stability was definitely in the union, that was true. Prosperity across much of the continent, yes, that was happening, like David said, and even mentioned. And those EU ideas and principles will be crucial in ensuring that this moving on, where we're moving on now, remains successful. And that's what Ms. May, our friend here, is trying to negotiate, have that opportunity to negotiate our way through. Still trading with them, we would have to come down to our knees at some point, but we would have, this is Brexit, and Brexit is Brexit now, so there's no going back. As a campaign to remain, during the referendum, I have a democratic political view in terms of respecting other people's view. That's why we're here, that's what we're doing. And again, it's passion. More British people voted to leave, and the EU, to leave the EU than anybody else. That's historical. But how that happened, again, we don't know. So it could be that the minorities that haven't got the hang of what it entails when you leave are the people that have put us in this position. But again, we have to respect their democratic rights. That's what we have to do. Okay, so our Prime Minister said, well, even though she might be a Remainer, she can't, the vote has been casted, we have to kind of move on. So the determination to manifest itself is that triggering the article is the way forward, and it has been done now. So we need to start looking at the department that exists for trade and investment. How are we going to put ourselves into it? So because the black ladder is about struggle. We don't want to struggle. We need to start. We want to be focused. We want to kind of push in and see what we can benefit and how we can gain from the opportunity that is there. I believe David would agree, and everybody else are trading in Nigeria and any other part of Africa would agree that there is a lot of opportunity in Nigeria. We haven't explored that opportunity. Maybe this is the time to start looking at that. That's one way of looking at the whole thing. One disappointment is another. I can't remember how they say that when you have such a disappointment. It's a blessing. And then, when somebody, God forbid, when somebody's fall, somebody else will rise from that. So maybe that's how we should be looking at the EU and what is happening within that. And start pushing up, making up our mind. There's no going back. It's like a dead body. Yes, I heard that in the Bible, Jesus wake up the dead, but at this particular time, this dead body is it's not the kind of spiritual one that we're expecting. So it's a political thing, and it has to happen. It's happening. So we need to start looking at how we're going to push on and start looking at the opportunities that is there. So I think I'm going to have to move on to another thing now. So enough of talking. I'm sure that all the intelligent ladies and gentlemen over there want to ask questions. And actually, I'm sorry.
Can I say something? Yes. I think that, and I feel very strongly about this. So, Councillor Susan is a politician, so, and she has information about things going on the ground that they're doing. But for us as a community, we are where we are. We need to engage ourselves. We need to change our thinking to Brexit. If there's anybody in our community that still thinks stay, then that person is living in the 18th century as far as I'm concerned. Today, in the United Kingdom, we are exiting, okay, regardless of whether it happens or it doesn't happen. We need to adjust our thinking so that we can take advantage and we can position ourselves as a community properly so that we benefit from the environment that we live in. If we're taking stay when the country is talking Brexit, then we're losing out. That's my take on that.
Thank you very much. I think I'm going to have to invite the all-party politicians in this whole issue. Remember, we're here because the black ladder is an experience of someone, a struggle, and a survivor and everything else. So we need to kind of start looking at how we don't want that to happen. It's a story now. How do we make most of this kind of historical issue and then step up and go into and start encouraging our children, Asians. I don't know how they deal with less. You see granddad that's never been educated, you see a granddad that's never been a shopkeeper, and their generation is moving into becoming a doctor. You can never see, hardly can you see a young generation of Asian in any rowdy or necessary job. They're very strategic in thinking, okay, I haven't made it, but I'll make sure that my son in Nigeria is actually pulling the economy together. That's the mindset that we have to have, rather than thinking, okay, Nigeria, okay, bumper, yes, there's no NEPA. NEPA will come, but we need to think about how we're going to get NEPA back to Nigeria. And I'm talking about bulk electricity. And in every other African, Kenya, Zimbabwe. So I'm going to hand over to decided to even give us a little bit more of what you know.
Well, I mean, when I wrote the book and I came up with this theme for this discussion, I mean, we're going to open it up to the general,
in 1 minute, yeah, just kind of.
Yeah, so I'd like to hear your views. But my view is that with Brexit, what we seem to have got is a growth of xenophobia. The vast majority of people who voted to leave the European Union did so because they do not like the fact that Eastern Europeans who work harder, who work longer hours, who do better jobs, are getting work which they had taken for granted. Now, you know the old saying, first of all they came for the Jews and I did not talk because I was not a Jew. Then they came for the trade unionists and I did not talk because I was not a trade unionist. And then by the time they came for me, there was no one left for me. The way I see it, those people who hate Eastern Europeans today, tomorrow they're going to come for me and you. So at the back of our minds, we should bear in mind that there may be opportunities, as David has suggested, but there may be a backlash. You understand? What happens if the British economy contracts by 5%? You could get a growth in xenophobia, you could get a growth in violent attacks. Who are going to be the victims? Who are going to be the subjects? You and me. So, you know, as we open the discussion, I would like to know what your experience has been with regards to the atmosphere, the general atmosphere in the post-Brexit era. Personally, I have a few fears, but hopefully I'm mistaken and they won't come to pass.
Now, it's time for the intelligence people around here to throw your question in, and let's rock, I won't say rock brain. No, not brainstorm, because we're not allowed to use that kind of language anymore. What do we want to, what's anyone's take? We'll take 3 questions of it.
Thank you. My name is I have one question, and then I have something I can add to us as a community. The first question, I respect the rule of law, and I respect the voting of the people. People have their different opinions, whether to stay or to leave. We did a valid and legal referendum, and the results were clear. We have to move on with that. That's it. Whether I don't understand what people are saying, that maybe Brexit is not going to happen. I know that because this is a historical moment within the EU. This is somebody or a country who set something in motion. And the powers that be, you know, they're going to want to control whoever does that. You know, when you step out the first time from a cage, you know, they're going to want to cage you down there. I can see you know, bullying and all that, you know, right? And I am actually quite annoyed at some people actually taking a court case against the people's votes. They have voted. You have to take, this is a country where you have to just listen to the law. That's one aside. Secondly, some of our panel members mentioned about our mentality. I can see the difference between our children and our generation. If an Indian goes and abuses a Nigerian, they'll tell you, we're born here. What do you want to do? I'll take you out. So everybody knows we're all born here. But we have that mentality, and then we don't interact with the community. I've seen people in the community, or let's just talk about church. Once you see a church, it's Nigerians. Before you even see a Ghanaian or whatever, you see other people, Ghanaians. You won't see white people. We don't interact. And sometimes I talk to people and, you know, they're always saying things about their people. I said, you are in this country. You have to integrate. If you don't integrate, they're going to, you know, look at you like, because they don't know you. You're just keeping to yourself. When you start, integrating in the community, you start having a different level of thinking. Don't just come here and say, oh, you've got care work and this and that, and you're sending money home, and that's it. A lot of our people, that's our mentality. You have to integrate. You have to be rooted here. If you're not rooted here, you're just going to be, you know, this is what I'm managing here, and your mind is there because you're not rooted. You cannot serve two masters. So I want us to start, making headway in the community, go into politics, you know, give our viewpoints. Even as a Christian, you change, you cannot change the society by just staying by yourself. You need to go out and, talk to people, let people know you. And another thing I want to say, when you have integrity, I'm telling you, everything will be okay. When we're known as a people of integrity, that we have integrity, we need to start talking to ourselves, within ourselves. All this, do everything the right way. It ends up, it might look long, but actually it takes shorter.
Thank you so much for that. Nigerians, there was a video that was passionate about a person, one UBA bank, staff that found $10,000 and he returned it and it was awarded. And from that platform, he had about 25,000 from people including his workplace. So integrity matters. And you can be tested anywhere, any place, anytime. So we need to be aware. Especially when you hold positions, they like to test you. money, fraud, people come in and set you up. So that's what we need to be bearing in mind as the one of us said. Ms. Roque?
Yeah, I just wanted to say one thing, and one thing very quickly. A lot of people are here because we want to celebrate Ayo and the book launch. Okay. I'm standing behind, I'm hearing the murmurs. But the point of the panel is to talk about the opportunities that the current situation presents itself, and how best we as a community are going to grasp those opportunities. Thank you so much.
That just proves how important the murmurings are. Keep murmuring.
So, we should
talk about the book. Ask questions about
it. Any more questions?
Ashley Oladipo. Within the context of post-Brexit era and the opportunities or the opportunities of African community as African generally, I think is a great. We stand to gain and lose for Brexit. Personally, I have the view that the community where we are living, we as Africans, the majority of us Nigerians anyway, we are here not only we have one or two reasons for coming down here, for resettle, to come and settle down in this part of the world. We are the kind of people who are actually, keeping ourselves, to excel. And Brexit, it means it proves to be an advantage for the country. The vote was actually conducted, and the generality of the British community and everyone voted to leave. It is within as the author of today's book said, it's a kind of a phobia. Anyway, it may be born out of phobia, but it's generally an idea that a whole lot of people in this country that they wish what they want. It's a kind of autonomy. Talk about the governance. I think for instance, some of us who are actually immigrants who are working in this part of this country, we felt intimidated when we see other immigrants from other parts of the world, maybe Asia or from European as well. But it brings about competitiveness, because when you see other people coming from other places, maybe you are find ourselves struggling to attain or to grab certain works. It will propel us to actually develop our skill sets and be able to compete very well. So it's an advantage for us to seek some opportunities in otherwise maybe see in terms of job opportunities as well, and even trade also, because I think Brexit offers is going to be, when everything negotiation is being done or is going to be done, it's going to be a way of this country extending trade opportunities to other parts of the world, which Africa will definitely get along.
Really, thank you. Your point is very valid. We're just trying to, it's timing here, we don't want to be kicked out, so we're trying to kind of stick to the time. And let's try to refocus, like Ronke said. We're here, it's a question about our position in Brexit in light of the book and the character of the book. So let's try to stay within that, where everybody is valid. The gentleman then, I promise you, will see. And then we can then have the question back. I don't have a question here, I don't see the question, so I can throw it back to the panel.
Good evening, my name is Greg Ekato. And congratulations, Ayo. Now, I got a question for the panel. I happen to agree with the council that, in as much as you're saying Brexit here, Brexit there, Brexit is not quite clear. The Prime Minister gave a hard Brexit. But what do you think now that Tony Blair put his heart in the ring, even though he's not going to be a politician, an active politician, but to influence, to midwife what Brexit will look like when it happens, because you can't go for a hard Brexit when Brexit is not yet defined. So I want to know what your thoughts are here and how we Nigerians or Africans can actually take advantage of what this meaning, this definition of what it will mean can be harnessed. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much. I think if we go back to the earlier speech by various panelists, we spoke about the benefits of being in Brexit, then we spoke about what is in Nigeria, and we've had it, but I'll just recap. As part of the outcome of this Brexit, which, according to the Prime Minister, we're no longer divided by our votes and how we cast it and what we cast, how we decide to live or to remain. What is happening right now and the benefit towards that, 2 cabinet offices has been established. One is looking at EU, the other one is looking at EU and Brexit. The other one is looking at international trade. So we have one fitted, because like you said, if someone doesn't know what will happen, we have to prepare, you have to have a plan A, B, and C. If this doesn't work, what will work? But there's no turning back, like Kasha said. So it's very to use that because I'm not professional right now. But we need to start looking at the benefits. If you notice we had 2 events looking at trade and investment. The reason why I jumped on the opportunity there was that there was money going to be. And if we lose these governments, that money will just vanish, and without we're going to go back to become a state of the EU. We used to be, I'm sorry to use this, we used to be a British Empire. Milk, when I was in nursery, milk used to come from British Airways into our nursery in Grace Student School. I remember. When I tell people that I had fresh milk in Nigeria, they couldn't believe it. Our case was like a child that was being nurtured, and they're still trying to walk. And instead of them to get to have that job, go to university, have a job, then have a house, we actually left home in the middle of it. We left everything, and thinking we're independent, we're intelligent, we can handle our economy and everything, without thinking about the corruption and taking our time to still be in the link, in the loop, and making sure that we're securing our own borders. So what I'm going to say to you is that Nigeria, Africa, anywhere within the Commonwealth, there's opportunity. Again, I'll go back to Brazil. So I just mentioned about Brazil. Another continent that had a phone call from that people were looking into investing. That they're already ready to go. It's I think it was China and India. And as we spoke, from the day the votes went through, India has been taking a big advantage of this Brexit. China have been making a lot of millions from the Brexit, and we still see we're still in the I won't say we're divided or something. We're still thinking about it's not happening. We need to step up. We need to step up and start taking advantage, looking at where the opportunities are in Nigeria, and then vote for stability, and then let's move forward. That's the way forward. There's not going to be any going back. Yeah? Okay. So I'm sorry, sir. Yes, your question. Just question.
Yeah.
And then,
my name is Jimmy. I'm Jimmy Eniola. My first question is to Mr. David Smith. What are the city has to lose and also to gain on BRICS exit? Then the second question is to the mayor. What has the EU has done for the United Kingdom? Thank you.
What does the EU have done for the United Kingdom?
Yeah,
okay.
For the Jordan.
I mean, I think anybody in the panel want to take that?
I think directly to David.
Oh, to David. Oh, sorry.
What is the city got to lose and got to win?
Yeah.
Up until about 30 odd years ago, the City of London was the world's greatest financial centre. And it had done that it had become that over many hundreds of years of being an important element of international trade. So the challenge for the city is to reassert itself as a centre for international trade. Now, if you're managing a bank, do you want to be in London or do you want to be in Paris or Frankfurt? You probably want to be in both. And when we look forward at what is going to be the change, where we can't rely, I hesitate to say this on this august panel, but we can't rely on politicians because they spend so much time talking about what they might or might not do and not enough time on getting on and doing what they need to do, that we can't recognise that there will be a deal with Europe. You know, there might be an argument. That deal may not be safe. So we have to go out and find new markets. And that's an essential element. And for the city, it's important that they strengthen the international relations that they already enjoy and look at how those new markets bring new opportunities. There is no greater new market than what's happening in Africa at the moment. Let's not talk about Africa now or Africa of 10 years ago or even 20 years ago. Let's talk of Africa next year or 5 years' time or 10 years' time, when all the positive thinking that is going on around development and the creation of local value turns into millions and millions of dollars of international trade, some of which will come through the city. So it's two sides of a very fine line. It can go well on both sides or it can go badly on both sides, but unless you're working both sides, it's not going to go at all.
Thank you so much. Can I ask Susan to respond? And the response would be, I'll be very brief. The first response that I want to make, I've forgotten the lady's name who said there was a court case challenging Brexit. Just a correction, there was no court case challenging Brexit. What the court case was, there was never any challenge against whether the votes are valid or whether it's 48% to 52%, that it is valid. What was challenged was the deception around Brexit. So that is that. Secondly, what I want to say in response to the author about where we are and how do we move forward. And how do you move forward is Brexit. There's nothing, gentleman said it, at this moment, what Brexit is just a word on paper. There is no Brexit. There will be negotiation, and that negotiation will produce a document. And that document, what is the opportunity that is available to us as a community is for us, the way the EU citizens are forming together, for African people to be able to form together and be part and have a voice into those negotiations. That is the way we can move it. And finally, to my brother here, I will just pick on one thing because I know people are pinching me all over, and it's just the employment right. You said, what has EU done for this country? And I'll just pick on it. Majority of the employment legislation in this country are from the EU, starting from the agency, the 2P right, the discrimination right, that people will say, oh, I was discriminated at work, I'm going to court. All those are EU legislations, and we can lose all those. I'm not given the opportunity to speak.
We just have another discussion, maybe in Parliament, to discuss this in full, because I think we're all having anxiety. Yeah. On the black ladder, we'll have another discussion about it. So watch out, and then we can have a full. We can call ministers to come and give us more guidance.
And we will be happy if we can join together and actually organize a meeting.
That's what
in the next 1-2 months.
No, a month.
To follow on
it's going to be too late because we 8th of June.
Follow this conversation.
Yeah. Okay, so let's look out for that. I'll promise I'm going to find a space in our parliament so we can have a full discussion because I'm worried about this and I want us to have. I don't want us to have that very, let's get our mind cleared up and let's have the discussion. So I'd like to call the chief law because we're here. Remember,
you guys have to finish because we have just limited time.
Yes, we're just doing it just now. So
okay,
we're here for one reason, and the reason is the black ladder. So we're going to call the chief launcher of the book right now, and to come up and give us the
It's not here?
No, you don't need to do it. Just let the MC.
Oh, sorry about that.
Thank
You, you pushed me so much I nearly jumped, so that's what I was doing.
Well,
And that's
we have to, because you guys are taking long.
Sorry
Anyway,
about
thank
that.
you very much, guys. It was lovely. We're all here for Ayo Akinfe. Please give them a round of applause. Well, you guys just sit down. There's no reason for you to rush off. You know, we'd like to see your lovely face. Now, at the moment, because we have just limited time to be here, myself and my co-anchor, which we've been doing for a while now, and we're going to be introducing the chief launcher, who's going to talk about the book. That's the reason we're all here, to celebrate Ayo's birthday as well. His name is Mr. Sonny Anhonse. Is it Chief?
No, Chief.
Okay. That's Mr. Sonny.
Chief Doctor, Professor, and all of the
above. Bristol Global Education. So please give him a round of applause. Can we have a little chair for Mr. Ronsley? The one you standing on.
No, I'm standing. I'm more active. Good evening, everyone. It's absolutely brilliant to be here this evening and also to see all the beaming faces. Now, I've heard earlier a lot about discussing politics, Brexit, all of it. I am not a politician, but I'm a money manager. I work with people to manage their money effectively. That's what I do. I give what is called economic empowerment. I do not preach about equal opportunity, but I promote or I celebrate what I call equal diversity. Yeah, giving opportunity to everyone else. My grandmother once said, to survive in Britain, in any country for that matter, you need two things. In this country particularly, your brain or your color. If you have both, you stand in a very strategic position. If you have one of them, you will survive. Life is all about adding value to people's life. If you want to make money, there's one fundamental thing you need to do. What is it? Yeah. Give somebody a value. In return, they'll be willing to pay you any handsome amount. That's what this book is all about. Does this book not also illustrate, for some of you who have actually had the overview, about the tenacity it might take somebody, isn't it? The journey, the topography, the difficulties, the complexity that life actually presents, whether you're a man or a woman, or more pertinent to a man of different color, of different race. I say to people, many times over, there are difficulties in any country you go to, correct?
Yes.
There are discrimination in any country you go to. We all have our own preferences, as we're all here. We like different football, or whatever it is, different games and all the rest of the color. If you go to Nigeria, or you go to Ghana, or Cameroon, or whatever it is, there are divisions everywhere. But we don't celebrate division, we celebrate cohesion. Now, this book today, for me, as far as what I'm saying, Ayo, wonderful.
Please give him a round of applause.
This is not a cliche that I want to use to discourage anyone else. Some popular opinion or theorists, they say, look, if you want to hide away any information from a black person, as a cliche it might be, the fact is, without patronizing anyone, is for us to build a habit of reading, documenting information. Personally, I have gained a lot from this book already, That's why, as a launcher, I will encourage everybody to pick copies. But in order not to exhaust the whole shelf, I'm not going to take all of them. I promise you I will reserve some of them for you. As a launcher, I will be taking 6 of these books. The book is not only just being taken for the sake of it, but I know quite fundamentally it's going to help and assist a lot of people. It's a book that actually illustrates resilience. How you can actually, I'm not sure any of you here who have ever read a book written by, or the biography of Kwame Nkrumah. Anyone here?
Yes.
If you haven't, I will help you. The information relating to surgery here is very identical. Going through a lot of difficult times. And in recent time, I watched a film, I think it's called, not The Moonlight, the other one, Lion. Did you watch Lion? Lion was just a very young Indian guy who had actually gone through a lot of difficulties, a lot of time. See, they're calling me now, my mom. See, women, at the wrong time, they will call, but for the right thing. Okay, it's all of that. So, what the book was all about, very basically, is how you survive through adversity. And I'm sure a lot of us will actually benefit and glean the essential ingredients that are pertinent in relation to life itself. Okay? Not just about the book itself, but the lesson that it teaches. So, Ayo, congratulations, and we look forward to reading more of this book. So, give my book, 6 of it.
Give our two guys a round of applause. Thank you all guys for once again for coming. Now I want to see who's going to be able to beat him. He's got 6 books. And I want somebody to stand up, and you can use this as a Christmas present. You can have it as, you know, somebody's birthday present. I can tell you, I've read the book myself. It's absolutely fantastic. It's a UK #1 seller. If I'm not wrong, Ayo. Yes? And we're hoping that, you know, since we Nigerians are getting the positivity, we should encourage one another. So I want to see who's going to beat that 6. Please, somebody should get up and, you know, 6, he's taking 6. We want somebody that can take 10. We want somebody that can take 12. Don't just sit here. You guys can just come to the
You can sell on Amazon, you can sell, if you're a good seller, you can auction it on Amazon, and sorry.
You didn't come to eat just meat pie now. Eh? I want you all to get up and support Ayo. Hey, oh, okay, my brother. How much would you like to take?
I'd like to take 5. Because I don't want to.
Thank you very much. We have our lovely brother here who's taking 5. Anyone else?
Wow.
Yes, sir.
I've just done a quick count.
Okay.
Aberdeen, Edinburgh, Newcastle, Manchester, Leeds, Birmingham, Oxford, Peterborough, Sussex, Croydon. Now you guys may think that you're the African community in the UK, but the 80-20 rule, or maybe the 70-30 rule, suggests that if 70% are in London, 30% are outside. We're building networks in all these places, so I will take 1 book for each network for the direction. So I will go through 10.
On that note, well, may I welcome you all once again. If you've just arrived, a round of applause.
You missed it.
We know you had to go to work, hence your lateness. But for coming late, I'll begin to identify certain individuals to come and pick up. No, they don't get fined. You get fined in a nice way. But if this book is actually going to those places, then I'd like to encourage you from there to begin to file down here and pick 1 up, 1 each. And go back to your seats. Then you get back to my tall, handsome Ebon.
Exactly.
All right?
Can I take off my network and I'll do more? And I don't want to say what I can beat the I can beat the launcher.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Sorry, that's the idea of the game. Thank you very much.
This is our bookseller here.
Okay, you know what? Thank you very much.
There's more.
This is our bookseller here. She's going to give for everybody that is buying or have a chair.
Ah, bless. Please.
No, you need to play it to her.
She knows. I know people who can run away here. Nobody can run away here. Okay. Of course. Wait. May I call on, you see, ladies and gentlemen, of course, we take anything. Even in churches, they take cards. So here, we can take cards. I'm standing here in front of, one second, I'm standing here in front of a big brother of mine. He's an African icon, a Nigerian icon. In fact, in the last few months, or few weeks, you would have seen him with the richest king in Africa. That is His Imperial Majesty, the Oni of Ife. Please, don't dispute that. May I call on my big brother, the Ayo himself, the man who talks with a drum.
Yes!
He's now going to talk with his money. So I brought several copies just before him, so he can do whatever he wants to do with them.
Well, good evening, everybody. Right, what I'm going to do is just to take 5 at £20 each.
Excuse me, everyone. Can I have a born again round of applause?
I didn't tell you that I was going to be a bit of a comedian tonight.
God bless you, sir.
Yeah?
Well done, Ayo.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We can count it 1, 2, 3. Ayo. And we have Debbie, who will be sitting in the corner of my eye in her head. That's our name.
In fact, sis, don't worry.
Yeah, they will point them out all day. I did.
If I come past you, don't think you've escaped. Sis, I should actually go to Uncle before I come to you, but I love your afro. I'm talking about you. I should go to him first. Of course. May I introduce our MBE, Miss Debbie Ayo. A round of applause for her, ladies and gentlemen. She's in our midst. And I've come with very limited copies. So, just about 6. I'm sure she'll need more, so please get ready. So, sis, over to you. We have, you see, no problems.
Royal Charter, Royal Charter. Want to give a round of applause?
We're not here to embarrass anybody, honestly. We're not doing that at all. We're here for a purpose, and we need to support each other. This charity begins at home, okay? You can take people out for meal. We do random meal things within my sector. We can spend £200. Let's support our own. This is what this is about. So we're not embarrassing anyone. Do what you do, and then what you can do as you can. And do as much as you can.
Not your call according to your size.
Once again, a round of applause. A round of applause to May I inform you that I've taken 6 books to her. I know she's capable of more. So I've deliberately taken 6 to her, even though I know she's capable of more. She's an MBE. Okay. There's a lady here who, like every one of us, has been through adversities. She's been through a very difficult time, and she's come through it. And she's a wonderful, a very wonderful source of inspiration to a lot of us who are friends. May I call on none other than the lady who makes special cakes. She's amazing with our cake making skills. Please welcome with me none other than Whatever Cakes. God bless you, ma'am. You look amazing, by the way. Okay, we have 2 more books.
And her, don't forget about her.
I will.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, please. A round of applause for David, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much. We haven't got much time. You see, when you have here the leader of engineers in Nigeria, Nigerian engineers, engineers of Nigerian descent in the UK, their leader, the boss, is right here. So please, a round of applause for Uncle Boma, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, our leader in waiting. Please, give us some show. This is how many copies? 10. Please, can we make it 10? 4 more copies? 4 more.
Can his twin sisters work?
We've already taken 2 before.
So
that's
okay, thank you so much.
Please, a round of applause to them, ladies and gentlemen. May I submit to you that in our community in the UK, as Nigerians, we have had the need for a leader like Uncle Boma.
Yep.
Most especially in the recent times, 2 years, we have had a need for such leadership that we know that he will give us. So we're very happy, we're elated that he's here and he's going to be our leader.
Yeah.
I say that because I've got knowledge of our recent 2 years, and it has not been very nice. May I submit to you that these people, Uncle Boma, and of course his wife, are the first people at your events.
Yes.
No matter what you do,
yes,
they're there for you.
Yes.
And these are the people who have shown leadership even in times of difficulty, even when it's most inconvenient for them. So a round of applause to them, ladies and gentlemen. Please, can I have 5 books? 5 books for my boss. For my boss. Chief, let me just finish quickly, then I'll come to you after. Chief's zone has to be special. Well, these books would be for my boss, my mentor. None other, he knows himself, none other than Uncle Charles Kiri.
We'll post it to him. Not where he lives. Not where he lives.
So a round of applause for everybody. Okay. Yes, I'm going to Chief now.
Where's those 5?
5 for Mr. Charles Kieran.
Exactly.
Ladies and gentlemen, the next victim. Oh, sorry. That was a slip of my tongue. I apologize. May I say something very quickly? You see, leadership, sometimes my dad used to say to me, is inherited, sometimes it is bestowed on you, sometimes God just decides He's going to put you somewhere, and He gives you the opportunity, the strength, the ability to lead people naturally. And that is what I found in none other than Chief Bimbo Robert Falaya.
Oh yes.
Please, a round of applause. I never met him until very much later, but this is a man who led our community in the right direction, even though we've been taken backwards a few years. But he led us, and we could see that we had a leader. So please, a round of applause, because this man actually made Canuck what it is today. What it was until 2 years ago.
Stop saying that.
Yes, I'll keep emphasizing that.
No, stop it. Don't do
Okay,
it.
maybe I'll stop. Maybe. Maybe I will. Maybe. Okay, please, a round of applause for those people. I brought about 6 copies. I know you would want more, but this is just for testers.
We're not fasting.
So I bought one before, so that will be 7 now. I can do this 7 definitely. The only thing I want to say is that one thing I want to say here, please, attention, Mr. Celebrant. Ayo Akinfe is a wordsmith. He manufactures words. If you don't buy this book and even give to people, you'll be missing, and people will be missing. Honestly, he's a man who analyzes virtually everything, and he uses the right words. He's a superb writer. I never miss any one of his writings. But also about the community. I want to say to us that our community is work in progress. Okay, so we have a long way to go, and things will only get better. And by the grace of God, we see things getting better in the future. So all of us have to, work together. Let's collaborate, work with the new team that is coming on board, and they'll move our community to the next level. Thank you so much.
Okay, everybody, because we're being watched this, for time, but yet we will allow Ayo Akinfe. Our love. Today's his birthday. First of all, I want you guys to get up and sing my happy birthday. Yes. Okay. Before we do that, where's my co-host? My Now, there's one person we've forgotten, but I just wanted to mention to him. Yes. Baroness Jumoke Ayo. She's here as well. Can we give her a round of applause? She's the second Yes. Ayo, please let us start with happy birthday to him.
The Steve Wonder one.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Sorry, you guys can have a seat. Just a little bit of this. Yes. Okay, a toast for. Can you fill your glasses?
We don't have glasses.
If you don't have glasses, pretend to have one.
We do. We have to use it.
Where does the caterers? Okay, where are you? Hello. Sit down, Mr. Ayo.
I'm to sit down.
Excuse me, can we have order in the room? Excuse me. Hello. We are here for something. There's another lady showing up. That was birthday. It's over there. So do you want to come and say this to Ayo? Mo máa yí kígbe.
Ladies and gentlemen, can we have some quiet, please? Thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, can we have some quiet?
How are you?
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm holding this. Please don't film me with this.
I think it's a bit too late for that when people are live. I'm not live though.
Oh yes. Okay, thank you all very much. May I invite...
You better not done, I'll kill you.
Quiet please. May I invite to the microphone, imaginary microphone, none other than Mrs. Ronica Udofia. A round of applause for the board of directors.
If you don't clap for me, I clap for myself. But seriously, hey! Excuse me. Sit down. I'm about to sit down. I just want to, my name is Rocky Odokia, and my voice is not but I want to give a vote to fight because we are all here for the single reason of celebrating the word craft of our gentleman Ayo Akinfe. It is also his birthday, so we celebrate that as well. But as part of the vote of thanks, Ayo Akinfe, while he's on his phone, and you know he's always on that phone. And he's changed it. Yeah. This event and the celebration of his wordcraft wouldn't have been possible for a number of people who contributed to this event and the fact that this book has been put together. Now, I do have a list of people that I was told I needed to thank. But if I start that list, there will be people who would not be recognized, and that's not fair. From the people who said, Ayo, write a book, to the people who said, Ayo, present yourself well today, to the people who brought up the food today, to the people who brought up the food today, to the people who gave him seed money for this book. Everybody that has made their way here today, those that came early, and many people came early, and I applaud those people actually. The people that sacrificed their time to be here, it's not easy to be here.
Excuse me, sorry, can I just say it's very rude when somebody is talking and we're all talking over them. Can we please respect each other? Somebody was shouting for people to stop talking. Please let us respect each other.
up. So now we all have to behave ourselves. There was a minister here from the Nigerian High Commission who came to celebrate Ayo. Unfortunately, she had to leave, but we give a round of applause for her presence for the Nigerian High Commission. She's in charge of information. Sorry about that. The minister in charge of information and culture from the Nigerian High Commission. This event was scheduled to start at 6. So we are where we are, and it doesn't mean that we shouldn't applaud ourselves for being here. And every hand, every step that people have taken or shown towards Ayo, there's a round of applause for you all. A round of applause, everybody. So, like I said, I'm not mentioning names, because if I mention one name, I won't be able to mention the other name. But the most important thing is that everybody, and I stress, everybody has played a role in the production of this book. Congratulations. Thank you. There's still a few books here for sale. I'm told I'm supposed to pick it up. I'm not too good at this. What am I supposed to do? You want to buy it? Okay. You're supposed to. Yeah. Oh, okay. Auction. Am I supposed to do a American auction? Who wants to buy the book?
Don't be auction. It's not for everyone to get a copy.
Okay. There's still some books, and our celebrated author is in the house to sign them. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Sorry, you forgot the
oh, yes.
You presented.
At the moment, we're gonna, don't forget to tune in tonight for Ayo, the first radio show. Colorful Radio is on what channel? Are you gonna
I'm sure a lot of you have been watching the proceeding in terms of the book launch for our London-based veteran author and journalist, Ayo Akinfe, The Black Ladder. This was brought to you by Nigeria Diaspora. I hope you've all enjoyed it. It's been a long day, but the most important thing is the book itself must be purchased by everybody. Just like I was saying, the book is still much available for those that might be interested to purchase this book. Get in touch with Ayo Akinfe, or you can get in touch with myself or Layomi Koiki. It's been a very beautiful day. Black Ladder is one thing you must have in your collection. Your children must read this book. This is to give us the insight of what a lot of us have gone through in terms of living in the United Kingdom. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have enjoyed it as well. There's so many faces down here. I'm sure everyone has been able to listen to those that spoke about the opportunity that will be arising from the Brick exit. And the most important thing is we are going to be bringing more people to speak to us in terms of that Brick exit. What are the opportunities for every one of us? There's so much opportunity, like I've said so many times. But this event was brought to you by Nigeria Diaspora, one hub connecting everybody together. We are live we're on Facebook, Nigeria Diaspora. We're also on Twitter, Nigeria Diaspora, and we also do a lot of agriculture and food. Most important thing is you must be able to empower yourself. We do share a lot of news and information. If you want us to come down and transmit live to Facebook and to the audience of what you do, get in touch with me, send me an inbox, and we'll definitely be there. Watch out for the next event. But today, we are celebrating one man the most important veteran and journalist within the Nigerian community, Ayo Akinfe, the Black Leather. Hard copy is available for grabs now. Get in touch with myself, and then you'll be able to get a copy. Also, get in touch with Ayo Akinfe. He's on Facebook. You can send him a message, and the book will be picked up. At the nearest location. Also, I'm sure a lot of us have heard from the speakers tonight the opportunity that will be coming up in terms of the BRICS exit that is actually taking place. But one thing we got to remember is you must pull together, we must work as a community, we must unite. We're back again with another beautiful event, very soon to your doorstep. But this event was brought to you today by Nigeria Diaspora, One Hub, connecting the community together. Thank you very much. Again, my name is Ola Yomi Koike. Thank you and God bless.